For Democratic Change Alliance is challenging Emmerson Mnangagwa's election victory. It's accusing the ruling party and the Zimbabwe Election Commission of rigging the elections. The MDC Alliance's case to overturn the results was heard in court today, and the ENCA's Aldrin Sampier has been watching the proceedings and joins me now. Well, Aldrin, Advocate Tembega Ngugayetobi and Dalimpofu having to watch the proceedings from the public gallery.
Yes, from the public gallery, because speaking to the Chief Justice, speaking to the Justice Minister of Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe, indicated that the application came 2 days before the proceedings, and as he puts it, the lawyers were expecting him to perform miracles, and that is something that he couldn't do, because when you bring in an application, that application has to go to the legal society of Zimbabwe as well, for them to verify your qualification as well as the CV. The minister also indicating that when the initial application came, and this was on Friday, those applications didn't have the CV as well as the qualifications which are needed. And when he responded to the two lawyers on Monday, I think he said that by this morning he had not received any response from the legal counsel, and this is when the lawyers then came and asked him that grant us the certificate to work as lawyers in the Constitutional Court, and the Justice Minister said, I cannot do that. However, though, they had been granted accreditation to be in the public gallery, to be inside the court and follow those court proceedings.
Okay. Let's go to what transpired today.
Well, quite interesting is, of course, this admission from the Zimbabwean Electoral Commission that there were some data error mistakes, there were data errors in the capturing of these results, which then declares Emmerson Mnangagwa, they believe, is still being president-elect of the country, but now they've revised the figure down to 50.6%. Remember that the initial result was at 50.8%, and the MDC Alliance is making the argument that had they not bring this challenge of vote rigging, this number would have not been revised. And Mpofu, who's currently still arguing in front of the Constitutional Court, is now saying that on the basis that the Zimbabwean Electoral Commission had to revise their figures, that means that that regularity of the results themselves then falls away, which means that they want the Constitutional Court to set aside the announcement by the Zimbabwean Electoral Commission, and what they are calling for is a rerun of the elections.
And has the ZANU-PF spoken yet, their lawyers?
Well, ZANU-PF arguing through President-elect Emmerson Mnangagwa, who has filed court papers. They are saying that everything has been on par in terms of what's needed in terms of the Constitution. They are making the argument that some of these figures that the MDC Alliance is coming with are figures that are being plugged out, that they do not bring any factual evidence in front of this Constitutional Court as to how they've arrived at certain figures that they arrived at. Some, for instance, they make the argument that there are 40,000 votes that are missing. How did you arrive at those figures? And the other argument that the ZANU-PF is making, as well as, that Emmerson Mnangagwa through his counsel, as well as the Electoral Commission is making, is why did you not ask for these ballot boxes to be open? Because there is some relief that is open to you. You could have done that and you didn't do it. And Mpofu was saying, and this was something that was asked by the Constitutional Justice as well, and Mpofu was saying that, these results have already been doctored. There's been massive doctoring of these ballot boxes, and that's the reason that they're seeking relief directly from the Constitutional Court.
When are we expecting the court to rule?
According to the Constitution, that judgment should be handed down by Friday, so they have tomorrow and Friday as well. But speaking to a ZANU-PF official earlier on this morning, he said that hopefully by tomorrow there will be a Constitutional Court judgment, considering that all the Constitutional Court is doing now is just receiving some hearings and some technical aspects in terms of clarification and so forth. So that shouldn't take that long. But the court has until Friday to make a judgment, and after that judgment, within 48 hours, if the court says either one of the candidates is president-elect, then there will be an inauguration of either one of the candidates within 48 hours. But if there is a rerun of the elections, that rerun must happen within 60 days.
Okay, let's leave it there. Aldrin Sampiero has been tracking the proceedings, the goings-on at the Zimbabwean Constitutional Court. Well, let's check.